Thank you for that. We'll begin our evening on a high note with some awards and recognitions. Dr. Battle?
Yes, ma'am, and thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, board members. With our 2020-21 school year ending today, this has been a month full of celebrations, and I want to continue with that theme tonight. First, I hope you'll join me in congratulating the MNPS class of 2021. Let's give them a round of applause. These graduates, including the final group crossing the stage tonight, have been through so much. So our final graduation will be Maplewood High School tonight, right after our board meeting. They didn't get to see inside of their schools for almost a year. They missed their friends and teachers and events. Some of them contracted COVID-19 or helped family members get through it. And like all students, they had to adapt to virtual learning. But the class of 2021 showed great resilience to finish strong, and I know all remember this class fondly and remain proud of them as they move on to their next adventures and continue to represent Metro Nashville Public Schools across the country and across the world. All right, our next celebration. Next up is Rose Park Magnet Math and Science Middle School. Last week, Rose Park earned a great honor when it was designated a Tennessee STEM school by the Tennessee Department of Education and the Tennessee STEM Innovation Network. Rose Park was one of just 13 schools from across Tennessee to receive this designation. According to the state, this award was developed to identify and recognize schools in their commitment in teaching STEM and/or STEAM and to integrating strategies that ultimately prepare students for post-secondary, college, and career success in the 21st century. This also means Rose Park will be a model that other schools can visit and learn. To win this award, Rose Park completed a self-evaluation, participated in interviews, hosted site visits, and submitted a plan of action for implementing or sustaining STEM and/or STEAM education for the next 5 years. This is a result of a wonderful collaboration between the team at Rose Park and the Support Hub. So tonight, I want to recognize and thank Rose Park Principal Romy Vassar and his team for all of their amazing work. Gina Hagan, Assistant Principal, Lacey Ford, 5th grade ELA teacher, Margie Hawkins, Encore Gifted and Talented teacher, Rebecca Smith, Arts Integration, Tiffany Griffin Minor, Coordinator of STEAM Experimental Learning, and Heather Hyde, District Lead STEM Coach. Also want to thank Dr. Jennifer Berry, Director of STEAM and Science for the district, and Dr. Celia Conley, Executive Director of Middle Schools North, for all of the support they provided to this effort. What I think stands out most about Rose Park's approach is their commitment to hands-on education and what they call the 4 C's: critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration. The education they offer at Rose Park is rigorous, but innovative, and it's fun. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for everything you're doing to provide a great educational option for our families. So if you all can stand again, let us give you a round of applause. All right, that's some good stuff, and we're going to move on to some more. Speaking of great options for families, last Wednesday, I had the privilege of joining 4 of our principals and some of our Support Hub staff at a news conference to celebrate our new Magnet School Assistant Program grant. This is a highly competitive 5-year, $14.6 million federal grant that MNPS received to create or redesign magnet programs in 4 of our schools. These funds will allow these schools to find their voice and vision. give families new educational options for their students, and eliminate inequities through investments to improve outcomes for students who are already enrolled. The new programs that will be offered at these 4 schools will help to inspire the next generation of artists, engineers, designers, and leaders. I want to recognize their principals who are here with us tonight. So I will call you if you could just stand so you can be recognized. Principal Trelawney Lane of Isaiah T. Cresswell Magnet Middle School of Visual and Performing Arts. Principal Shalita Sanders of Carter Lawrence Engineering Magnet Elementary. Principal Robin Beard of Alex Green Design Technology Elementary. And Principal Sandra Mormon of Tom Joy Digital Literacy and Leadership Magnet Elementary School. Congratulations to all of our principals here tonight and your school teams. And again, this award came from a big team effort between these principals, their staffs, and the support hub. I especially want to thank Dr. Sharon Griffin, our Chief of Schools of Innovation, Dr. Regina Etter, who directs our Magna Schools program. Congratulations to everyone. And now I'd like to show you a short video about these 4 schools.
Jumped up and down, and I was a little excited.
I just cried the moment that I learned about it because I just felt we got a win.
We got the email and then the phone call that we have been awarded the grant. We were ecstatic.
I just heard a loud scream, and I thought, oh my goodness, what is wrong? And I ran into Ms. Mormon's office, and she was just so excited.
Our slogan at Alex Green is "Make it happen." So no matter the circumstances, we do everything we can to make the learning experiences meaningful for our students. And now the fact that we have support and training and resources behind that, it just makes me really excited because I know we can do even more for our students.
My students love technology, and with us getting new and improved technology,
Sorry.
I probably jumped up and down, and I was a little excited.
I just cried the moment that I learned about it because I just felt we got a win.
We got the email and then the phone call that we have been awarded the grant. We were ecstatic.
I just heard a loud scream, and I thought, oh my goodness, what is wrong? And I ran into Ms. Mormon's office, and she was just so excited.
Our slogan at Alex Green is "Make it happen." So no matter the circumstances, we do everything we can to make the learning experiences meaningful for our students. And now the fact that we have support and training and resources behind that, it just makes me really excited because I know we can do even more for our students.
my students love technology, and with us getting new and improved technology,
We apologize. It seems like there's some technical difficulties about halfway through. It is
I
on
probably
YouTube.
jumped up and down, and I was a little excited.
I just
We'll,
cried.
Go past that point. So sorry about that. We'll share it out on social media.
Well, congratulations again to all 4 of the schools that are recipients of the MSAP grant. Thank you for your hard work, your planning, and now execution around implementing the strategies that have been identified. So kudos to the team, and we're looking forward to the great work ahead. Next, I'd like to acknowledge our 2020 Blue Ribbon teachers. The year 2020 brought immense uncertainty and sacrifice. Like every member of Team MNPS, our Blue Ribbon teachers persevered through adversity during the peak of a pandemic. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we were not able to honor them at an in-person event the way we normally would. So we wanted to take a moment to recognize them tonight. Each year, the Blue Ribbon Teacher Award honors educators who exhibit instructional excellence, promote student growth, and exemplify teacher leadership. You will see the names of the extraordinary 2020 winners highlighted on the screen, on this slide, and the next two, if we can show each of those. In collaboration with the Nashville Public Education Foundation and Nashville's Agenda, we honored an amazing group of 58 educators, the most ever to receive the award. These teachers came from across the district in every type of school at all 3 tiers. As a part of their application, these educators were asked to respond to the question, in 4 words, why do you stay in the classroom? The winners' responses included things like teenagers will lead us, who they become matters, growing minds need hope, and education leads to liberation. Each one of these teachers embodies everything that is great about our district. They love their students. They work hard. They inspire every day, and they wake up and do it all over again tomorrow. They believe that every student should be known, and they work every day to make sure every student is known and on a path to success. On behalf of MNPS, the Nashville Public Education Foundation, and Nashville's Agenda, we thank you all for your hard work and your commitment to ensuring all of our students thrive in MNPS. And the 2021 Blue Ribbon application process is now open, so we encourage all of our teachers to apply. Congratulations again to our 2020 Blue Ribbon Teacher Award winners. Let's give them a round of applause. Finally, I want to give a shout out to all the women who are helping to lead our math students in the future. Last month was Mathematics and Statistics Awareness Month, and the Metro Council honored the city's female mathematicians on April 20th. I'm not going to read through the council's full resolution, but I will point out that it mentions MNPS and the fact that 158 of our 260 middle school and high school math teachers are women. And so are our Director of Mathematics, Dr. Jessica Slayton, and all 6 of our numeracy coaches. Thank you to all of the women who are teaching math and supporting our math teachers here in MNPS. We appreciate everything you do every day for our students and staff. So let's give them a round of applause as well.
We're going to try this video one more time.
We're going to try the video one more time.
Oh, shoot. Okay, watch the cat reading.
I held my tongue long enough. There was a joke here to be made about technology and our students getting that MSAP grant around technology. I'm just not witty enough to put it together, but there is a joke there. Okay.
I probably jumped up and down, and I was a little excited. I just cried the moment that I learned about it, because I just felt we got to win.
We got the email and then the phone call that we had been awarded the grant. We were ecstatic.
I just heard a loud scream, and I thought, oh my goodness, what is wrong? And I ran in Ms. Woman's office, and she was just so excited.
Our slogan at Alex Green is "Make it happen." So no matter the circumstances, we do everything we can to make the learning experiences meaningful for our students. And now the fact that we have support and training and resources behind that, it just makes me really excited, because I know we can do even more for our students.
My students love technology, and with us getting new and improved technology, it's going to make learning even more fun. It's going to make them collaborating and working together amazing.
I feel like the more diverse a group is, the better the learning opportunities are. So I just feel like we're already an awesome school, and now we're going to be even better just by bringing more people and more experiences in.
We want to learn and grow as teachers so that we can be putting in place all of the best practices, all of the newest and latest research in education, in science, in math, in engineering for our students' benefit.
I want to be a professional engineer, and
my hope for Carter Lawrence is that we do become a transformative oasis of hope where, our students and families and teachers that come here are taught to dream, believe, and achieve at the highest levels. Like, literally, anything is possible. There are no limits. The sky isn't even the limits. There are no limits.
We already have students who are winning awards like Grammys, working professionally as artists. We have students who are flourishing in their arts areas, but the rest of Nashville has no idea we exist often.
We have done a lot at our school with just a little. And so now with the resources that we'll get, not only the tangible financial resources, but also with the outreach, we'll be able to really go out into our community and expand and increase our enrollment. We'll be able to reach out and build more partnerships. I'm just excited on what we'll be able to do for our students and how far we'll be able to grow this program.
The dreams that we have had for our students will come to life. We have had dreams all along, but it's always been a funding that kept us from achieving. And so with this funding, we don't have to dream anymore. We can put our plan into an action that is going to take off and be successful for this community, the staff, the students, the families, all the stakeholders.
Kids are just getting what they finally deserve, and we've worked so hard, and now this gives an opportunity that's going to open so many doors for them.
I'm so proud to be in this district. I'm so proud of the direction that our district is going in. So I'm just really excited for our students and our community.
I am so excited just to see these kids that are so deserving get the education that they deserve.
We are just eager to begin this work. This is going to be so powerful.
They will be ready for middle school, ready for high school, ready for college and or careers.
All right, well, thank you, Madam Chair Buggs. That concludes our awards and recognitions for this evening, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Battle. I'll just overtalk that. All right, we'll slide right on into our governance issues with our consent agenda. Is there any amendment to the consent agenda as listed? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to accept?
Move approval of the consent agenda as printed.
Do I have a second? I have a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. All right, unanimous vote for the consent agenda. We'll move on to item 2. Yes, item 2, approval of the 2021-2022 operating budget. Budget Chair, Ms. Frida Player Peters.
Thank you, Chair Buggs. We just had the Budget and Finance Committee. We approved the operating budget unanimously for the 2021-22 budget. We would like to thank Mayor Cooper and staff for historic investment of $81 million, particularly for the revamping and the reforming the teacher and certificated employees compensation. I think that's a vital thing that we've finally been able to do and be able to be the best, have the best compensated teachers in the state. And so we're very proud and very thankful for that. And also the historic investment of fully funding our continuity of operations. I think that's a great thing that this is the first time in multiple fiscal year budgets that we are not doing any major cuts. And I think that is something that needs to be noted and be worthy, that we will be able to come at a place that we can start moving forward in new investments within our school system. And we'd like to thank the mayor for that investment. Tomorrow we'll be presenting our budget with the Metro Council tomorrow at 5 o'clock at the Metro Council Courthouse in David Scobie Chambers. And so we are very proud to present this budget, but we'll move on with that. But so that's what came out of the Budget and Finance Committee. Dr. Springer gave a presentation about the social emotional learning investment and with the advocacy centers and how that will be funded into the next year. And then Mr. Henson went through the detailed changes and the summary of changes of the operating budget. So that's what came out of the Budget and Finance Committee report and was unanimously approved in Budget and Finance.
All right, do we have to recast a vote because we're in the middle of the board meeting? Okay. So we will call for a motion to accept the 2021-2022 operating budget as listed in our committee. Do I have a motion to accept?
I make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2021-22 operating budget with a total operating budget of $1,014,661,600. By the way, it was the first time we've hit over $1 billion.
All right, do I have a second? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. All right, it's passed unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Bobo. All right, now we have, thank you, Mrs. Player-Peters. Now we have a motion for the Director of Schools to investigate grievances and complaints within the MNPS Security Department. Dr. Battle?
Point of order. Is there a motion on the floor?
Is this listed on the agenda? Yeah, okay, yes, is there a motion?
Dr. Battle's motion.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Not Dr. Battle's motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, say that one more time, Dr. Gentry.
Not Dr. Battle's motion.
All right, I'm sorry, Ms. Bush?
Okay, I'm going to change it up just a little bit due to prior information that we received as far as this motion. I want to make a motion, and this is in regards to the security department. I want to make a motion for an external investigation done by an outside firm to investigate grievances and complaints within the MNPS security department, determine any violations of board policies and/or administration procedures, and report the findings and a plan of corrective action to the board within the time frame of the investigation.
So as it's listed, you're amending it to the time frame of the investigation, right?
Depending on the external investigation, the approval of one.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We have Ms. Masters, then Mr. Little.
I just want to clarify. So this would take, you're suggesting we take the issue around the security department and take it off of Dr. Battle's plate and instead go into an external investigation just to look into sort of all of the past circumstances surrounding the issues at hand?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Mr. Little.
I would just ask if we're at liberty to speak, who usually leads like internal investigations like this? It's just a question I would have because it'd be helpful in my decision.
I don't know. Dr. Gentry?
So, Dr. Battle, I'm sorry, I'll defer that you speak to it, but I would like to make a comment to.
Okay. Dr. Battle and then Dr. Gentry.
In response to your question, Mr. Little, as I understand it, our Human Resources Department leads our internal investigations.
All right.
Which that is a part of their role within Metro Nashville Public Schools.
Dr. Gentry?
Yeah, so thank you, Dr. Battle, for that, and thank you, Madam Chair. So that was just going to be my comment, right? So even the motion as it sits today, as printed, it's making a motion to ask the Director of Schools to do the job that she's doing today. So either there is discontent with the way if the board as a whole, and so I just want to be clear to me what approval of this motion says. Approval of this motion says that the board is not satisfied with how Dr. Battle is addressing the grievance process. And we believe that how it's being addressed is there may be something not right, and so we require an external investigator to come in and be paid to do this work. So if I'm understanding that correctly.
Ms. Bush?
Yes, and to your question or statement, because the key players that are involved with the amount of grievances, complaints, the culture and climate, age discrimination claim, racial discrimination claim, retaliation claims, leadership concerns, and of course, we just got information about Mr. Young's untruthfulness of his leadership and experience that was verified by Gaston County Schools. It would just be in the best interest to take away that investigation by the internal departments that were supposed to do due diligence. And so it takes away from Dr. Battle, the work she's doing for the district, and it puts it in the hands of an external person or firm or an agency that would be unbiased, and it will allow a due process for the security department.
All right, Dr. Battle?
Yes, Madam Chair, if you will, because I think this speaks to the professionalism, the expertise of our team when it comes to our internal investigations. So at the board retreat on Friday, we had a board member who sought to bring up defamatory allegations against one of our employees based on a limited and incomplete set of documents that Ms. Bush provided a few hours before our meeting. During this meeting, we were advised to not bring this up, but repeatedly we had a board member who attempted to do so, as well as make statements to the media that resulted in damaging accusations against our executive director of security. In the normal course of business, and this goes to your question, Board Member Little, if a board member had a concern about an employee, I would hope that you would direct that information to me so that we can have our HR team investigate appropriately. In fact, the Boardmanship Code of Ethics, Article 3, Section 3, does state that board members will not criticize employees publicly, but will make such criticism to the Director of Schools for investigation and action if necessary. Accusing someone in an open meeting of being unqualified for their job based on fraud would seem to go against this tenet. Our HR team has worked quickly to investigate this matter to determine the veracity of the public statements of the board member. We are providing this information to the board in writing, but I feel it is my duty to read this into the record due to the serious nature of the allegations that have been found to be unsubstantiated. And I think this speaks to the work of our Human Resources team. At my request, the Human Resources Department conducted an inquiry into allegations regarding the truthfulness of Executive Director of Safety and Security, Reginald Young's resume and employment application with MNPS. We met with Mr. Young and Ken Start, Executive Officer of Operations, Mr. Young's direct supervisor. In addition, Mr. Young provided a written response as well as documents, some of which I refer to herein. We also contacted all of Mr. Young's prior placements of employment and references to verify dates of employment and requested specific job titles. We concluded that the allegations made against Mr. Young's qualifications for employment are unfounded based on the findings of our investigation. The first allegation was that the Gaston County, Florida School District is not a certified police department. MNPS has been presented with a May 18, 2021 statement from Dr. Sylvia Jackson, Area Director, Secondary Education for Gaston County Public Schools, in which she states, I'm unable to locate any documentation that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement recognizes Gaston County School District as a certified police department. Dr. Jackson appears to make this statement in response to a recent public records request made to the school board of Gaston County. Apparently, based on the circumstances surrounding how this allegation was presented, the intention is to claim that Mr. Young did not work for a certified police department when he was employed there from December 1st, 2003 through June 2009. In response, Mr. Young has presented a May 10, 2004 computer printout from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement that recognizes the Gaston District School Police Department as a certified law enforcement agency in the state of Florida. He is listed as the chief. Mr. Young states that when he was hired at the school district, the intention was to create a certified law enforcement agency within the school district, and he was its first employee. Under law existing at the time, a district school board could employ law enforcement officers and commission them as school safety officers. This is according to their state statute 1006.12, Article 2 from Florida. School safety officers had the power of arrest and were authorized to carry weapons, again, according to state statute 1006.12, Article 2C. Mr. Young provided a copy of his school safety officer commission from the Gaston County School Board dated March 24, 2004. We conclude that at least as of May 10, 2004, during Mr. Young's tenure in the Gaston County School District, the Department of Safety Investigations was registered as a certified law enforcement agency by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Thus, we conclude the allegation in the May 18, 2021 statement from Dr. Jackson is unsubstantiated. Allegation number 2, that while at the Gaston School District, Mr. Young's job description did not include emergency management or chief of police. MNPS was also presented with a May 20, 2021 statement from Crystal Robinson, staff assistant at Gaston County School District. In it, she confirms Mr. Young's dates of employment stated above. She then states Mr. Young's job description did not include emergency management or chief of police. Primary duties were to investigate complaints and maintain a safe environment. She attaches an undated job description for a safety investigations coordinator. Apparently, based on the circumstances surrounding how this allegation was presented, the intention is to claim Mr. Young misrepresented his title on his resume and job application with MNPS, where he indicated he was the Safety Investigations and Emergency Management Coordinator, Chief of Police for the Gaston County School District. In response, Mr. Young presented a job description for a Safety Investigations Coordinator, which was approved by the school board on March 23, 2004. This was a position he held in Gaston County Public Schools. This job description is more extensive than the one that was attached to Ms. Robinson's May 2021 statement. Specifically, this 2004 job description provides that, among other duties, Mr. Young was to make arrests and comply with criminal justice standards and training commission requirements. Mr. Young has provided a May 10, 2004 letter from the Superintendent of Schools of Gaston County to the Florida State Retirement System, in which he describes Mr. Young as the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the Gaston School District Safety Investigations Department. Mr. Young has also provided a July 19, 2011 letter from the Sheriff's Office of Gaston County describing his role as the emergency point of contact for the Gaston School District from December 2003 through June 2009. The letter states in pertinent part, all emergency management information and requirement during disasters and life-threatening situations were passed to you for school coordination and emergency actions. Examples would be inbound tornadoes, tropical storms, hurricanes, and bus accidents. In short, you acted as the liaison between the district superintendent and Gaston Emergency Management. Your service was marked with rapid emergency response. Your service was proved to be invaluable to this department and your school district. We conclude that Mr. Young did not misrepresent his job title or his work experience in Gaston County, Florida on his resume or his job application with MNPS. We consider being the Chief Law Enforcement of the Gaston School District Safety Investigations Department to be the functional equivalent of being the Chief of Police. We also consider that Mr. Young's duties in the area of emergency management were sufficient to support the reference to emergency management in his job title, even if such duties are not specifically identified in the 2004 job description. As to the undated job description attached to the May 2021 statement from Ms. Robinson of Gaston County Schools, we give more weight to the more extensive job description approved by the Gaston County School Board in 2004, provided by Mr. Young. It is common for job descriptions to change over time. It would not be surprising if the current job description differs from the job description in effect 17 years ago when Mr. Young was employed there. Allegation number 3. Inquiry into the veracity of Mr. Young's resume and employment application in general. Over the past 48 hours, Human Resources staff contacted Mr. Young's prior employers and references listed in his employment application. Staff were successful at verifying Mr. Young's job titles and dates of employment at 5 of the 8 listed prior employers, including Gaston County Schools. The other 3 either did not have records extended as far back as needed, or they only provide information in response to a written request and have not responded to our written request to date. Staff were successful at reaching 4 of 11 listed references for Mr. Young. All 4 provide favorable references, including the superintendent of Gaston County Schools at the time of Mr. Young's employment. Thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me to read that into the record, our findings of this investigation conducted by professionally trained staff.
Thank you, Dr. Battle. Other questions or thoughts before we move on to Ms. Bush?
What she just read, and this is for the record, what she just read were recommendations. These were letter recommendations. What we got that was firmly identified by Gaston County Schools was saying that Reginald Young did not do any emergency management, nor was he the chief of police. And I think they would have definitely been very, very clear on the ask was verification of employment. They provided the information. They were able to answer specific questions. And on his resume, it also says that he supervised SROs. And that was unfounded, and that was untrue because he didn't manage anybody. So I'm giving information that is not untrue or unfounded. It came from Gaston County Public Schools. So I just want to make sure that that's on the record, that none of this is untrue. The information she just read off were recommendations.
Thank you, Ms. Bush. I would just say that it felt like in recent conversations with SEIU and with some of the security staff that they would like us to focus on the compensation study, that some of them seem to be more focused on making sure they feel compensated for the work that they do and that there aren't disparities. And I would like us to guide our conversation in that way. I think we just kind of got lost in the weeds of other conversations. Mrs. Player-Peters, I know you've been in conversation with SEIU. Dr. Battle and your staff, I know you've been in conversation with SEIU, and I think if we're trying to reach the breadth of our security staff and make sure that they not only feel loved and appreciated, but that they are compensated appropriately, that we begin making steps and having conversations around taking those steps around pay. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just the feeling that I've gotten from them, and I appreciate the head nods from security in the back. All right, Mr. Little?
And maybe I'm opening up a can of worms. Are we both getting our information from Crystal Robinson, both Ms. Bush inquiry and then the district's inquiry around the validity of Mr. Young?
I'm not an HR professional, so I'll be honest. Just to be honest.
I'll speak to the professionally trained individuals we have in our HR department, and they are trying to do full investigations given the evidence and the facts as they're presented.
All right, Mrs. Bush?
Yes, I think what his question was is that did you get the same information from Ms. Robinson that you just stated during your presentation? Because that's where I got the information from, and she was very clear on his verification of employment.
I think I was very clear in the memo that I did read that we referenced all information that we have received, whether that was information you sent, Ms. Bush, and the information that was provided by the individual who has been questioned, along with information that our professionally trained team has reached out to collect from previous employers.
So the answer is no.
No, the answer is yes.
So Ms.
Robinson, we've used all information that we've received.
My question was,
I think I referenced it in the memo.
Dr. Battle, his question was, did you reach out to Ms. Robinson? That was his question. The same person, because if we can be consistent with the information that was received by Gaston County Schools and the information that was received by the HR department. Listen, it's not, and I want to make this very clear, and I want to make sure that we're clear about the problems of the security department. Yes, it is about the wage suppression. It is about the wage concerns. But I just listed and just said all the other issues that the security department has endured that they want fixed. So we have a laundry list of things that is still festering and have not been resolved. And at the board retreat, they said on record that it was only one outstanding claim of the complaints or grievances, and that wasn't true. So now they're reaching out to the officers saying, hey, we want to talk to you about this 2019 claim. And so now they're going back and now they're trying to reference to it when they said clearly in the retreat they only had one outstanding. I actually repeated myself twice just to make sure that I was hearing it correct.
Point of order.
All right, then we will call for the vote. We have our motion.
That's not what my point of order is about.
Go ahead.
First of all, I would just like to remind us that all comments and questions should be directed to the chair. There should be no back and forth between board members. And I would like to get us back to the motion on the floor. And I don't think that the intent was to investigate this here on the board floor. I think Mrs. Bush's motion is clear to call for an external investigation to investigate the grievances and complaints within the MNPS Security Department, determined any violations in board policies. I think the only change, if I'm clear, Madam Chair, is that instead of asking the Director of Schools to conduct the investigation, the motion is to call for an external party to conduct the investigation.
And to change the date from June 8th to the conclusion of the
By
investigation.
the board June 8th meeting, yes.
All right,
Christian, can I make one more thing?
go right ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, were you done, Dr. Gentry?
Are you done, Dr. Gentry? Okay.
All right, Mrs. Bush.
Melissa Turner, do you mind coming up and explaining how
If
that
you don't mind,
process
Ms.
works?
Bush, if you would just direct the question and we'll make sure that the
Okay,
appropriate staff comes up.
I just want her to explain how the process works, because I know that there may be some questions surrounding how an external investigation works. So I just wanted to see if she would come and explain from a legal aspect.
All right, Dr. Battle, do you mind?
I don't mind.
All right, Mrs. Roberge.
So if I understand the question, it is how an outside investigation would work. I think it depends on what would be being investigated and sort of what the scope of it would be, but it could be done by an outside law firm that would look at the concerns. There would be a scope of work, and that they would then, produce a attorney-client privilege document to the board.
Is there a second option if that doesn't work? Is there any other options to have the investigation done on the outside or externally?
Again, it would depend on sort of the scope of the investigation. So as I understood the motion, it's a investigation into the charges of discrimination, retaliation that are present, that have been represented to be present in the security department. MNPS HR does have a department that typically investigates those. So if that is the type of investigation you are looking for, you could also use an outside HR agency. It would be up to the board.
And what about, just last question, what about the employees? If they wanted to file a grievance or complaints against, let's say, HR or Human Relations Department, how does that work?
Sure. So the grievance process is set out in the support employee handbook. And so there's a difference between a grievance and a complaint of harassment, discrimination, and retaliation. Grievances follow one procedure. Complaints of harassment and retaliation follow a separate procedure. If they have separate complaints about HR, the board already does have a contract in place that those are investigated by an outside law firm to sort of maintain this neutrality.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any further discussion? All right, Mrs. Tyler?
I just have one question. I know one of the original motion is called for a plan of corrective action. And so I don't know, Ms. Buggs, if I can address Dr. Battle. I just was wondering if you have found in your very thorough report that there is something that needs to be done. Are you guys working on a corrective action so that we can have a good culture and climate?
So referencing what I read earlier.
Well, I mean, that seems to be about one person in particular, but I think just I think the concern is that there's just a climate of mistrust. And I think a lot of that stems from before you were the director. And I know that does. And so I know you're inheriting a problem that you did not create. But it still needs to be addressed. And so I just wanted to know if you guys have been working on something that would help heal that kind of culture of mistrust or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely. And if I could reference back to our board retreat conversation when we went through our grievance process, what it is, what the procedure is that we follow to follow up on grievances. We also referenced the 2018 assessment of which our team has been responsive to and will continue to be responsive to. I think part of the challenge here is that when things are reported outside of the proper channels, following our administrative procedures, then administration HR has not been given an opportunity to respond to any outside claims or grievances if they do exist. But it is our HR team's responsibility to follow up on any grievances or complaints that we might receive and to resolve those matters.
All right, Mrs. Bush?
I just want to make a final statement to say that, number one, there was an attempt to reach out to the district, to the director regarding these issues. I was told to go and file a complaint, a grievance, I'm sorry. So that was done. And also the amount of grievances and complaints that has festered the director of schools have known about this. And there is conversation, there are emails that I've been able to read to show that there has been some involvement this whole time. And so that's the reason why I felt compelled to bring this motion, because it just wouldn't be a fair process or a fair assessment for the security department. And even while this investigation was going on, Mr. Young was still employed. He was still working. And normally when a staff or someone part of the administration is going through an investigation, they're put on leave, either with or without pay. And I mean, it's just a history of not having the trust from this department. And it just would feel better, especially with the public, to show due diligence that we're trying to separate the two. So that's the reason why I made the motion the way I did, to take away this from the director of schools and also from this going through an internal process, because we want this to be fair. We want this we want them to have a due process. So this is the reason why the motion was made.
All right, we'll go to Ms. Elrod, Dr. Battle, and Mrs. Pooper-Walker, but I will say that I know that that's not our grievance process. We had a school board member that had an ethics complaint filed, and that school board member was not put on leave. So I know that to be true. All right, Ms. Elrod.
Thank you. So I guess in response to the comments that were just made by my colleague, Ms. Bush, it sounds like from our previous conversations on the board that you did bring it to Dr. Battle, but of course with a request to have your own meeting with staff, which is again outside of our purview, and again not as discussed among many board meetings, and of course within this memo of what's the appropriate pathway to this. So my concern with us doing an external investigation is that we already have an investigation being done internally, and it appears that we are handling that as best as we can, and that we are following the appropriate and correct procedures within that. The resolution may not be as desired in some cases, but that there is resolution there. Additionally, we have discussed on the board floor and, of course, within our retreat about doing a support staff compensation study, which seems to be a main concern and the main will of the board, which, of course, would not be affected by this external grievance complaint investigation. So I want to make sure that we're aware that we do have something internally being done, and that it's currently being acted upon as been reported, and we need to continue to follow the appropriate pathways to do so.
All right, Dr. Battle and then Mrs. Pooper-Walker.
I just wanted to just clarify for accuracy that in responding to that group meeting, I specifically requested that any employee who has a concern can reach out to our Human Resources Department to complete an intake form, and that our HR team will follow up in accordance with our policy. That's my expectation. And also, if a school board member has a concern, they're also able to report and complete that intake form for us to respond to appropriately. And we've also shared the intake form because that is our procedure. And so I just wanted, for clarity's sake, to make sure the board was aware that that is how we respond to any complaints or grievances, to make sure that we're able to capture them and to follow up appropriately.
All right, Mrs. Pooper-Walker.
I'd like to call for the question.
All right, we have our motion. Mrs. Bush, would you mind restating your motion?
I wanted to make a motion for an external investigation done by an outside firm to investigate grievances and complaints within the MNPS Security Department to determine any violations of board policies and/or administration procedures, and report the findings and a plan of corrective action to the board within the time frame of the investigation.
All right, and that was seconded. All in favor, please raise your hand.
To call for the question?
Yes, she called for the question, so we have the motion. It's been seconded.
Laterally in debate, you have to have a vote to end debate.
Is that not what we're voting on now, the motion?
No. The motion on the point.
Okay.
The floor is to call for the question. So you're trying to put an end to debate. So you actually have to have a vote to end debate.
All right, all in favor to end the debate based on the motion? All right, that was such a fun exercise. Now we have the motion. There's no more discussion because the question has been called, so please raise your hand. Again, if we just want exercises and raising our hands, so we've had the motion.
Other motion on the floor is Mrs. Bush's motion.
Okay, so if we didn't want to have a discussion, if I wanted to make one sentence, I would not be allowed to do that?
Discussion. It is now time for the vote. It is now time for the vote.
Did Jeannie's motion need a second too, or no? Okay.
Calling for the question is a motion and a second. All right, with that in mind, the motion has been restated. Please raise your hand if you are in favor. All right, we have one, Ms. Bush. Please raise your hand if you are opposed. All right, please raise your hand if you are abstaining. All right, we have one. You're going to abstain always. Okay, we got one abstention. All right, we will move on then to the director's report. Dr. Battle.
Now, we've said it quite a few times, but let's say it again. This has been a unique school year. As such, we're taking a unique approach to the state of schools.
I didn't bring popcorn today.
And instead of speaking from a podium, our team has compiled interviews for myself, our leadership team, and others to reflect on some of our challenges this past year and to celebrate our successes and innovations that are going to help us come out of this pandemic as a stronger school district. Please turn your attention to our monitors and screens around the room.
Some of my lasting memories over the course of the last school year are really grounded in the spirit of Team MNPS. Those lasting memories started with the tornado of 2020. Watching our community stand up and support one another without a plan, without a lot of time to prepare, is a lasting memory I'll take out of last school year. The pandemic experience, right, that hit Nashville, that hit across the country, was shocking to say the least. It was a surprising experience for us in public education. I have not, in my 20 years of being in public education, ever experienced a time where we had to close all of our school buildings and shift our students into a virtual space. A very difficult decision early on, but not difficult in knowing that we needed to prioritize the safety of our students, of our staff, and their families.
I saw a need or a desire to make sure that kids, students, teachers' safety came first, and to do whatever we could to make that happen and teach at the same time. And so I saw from the whole plethora of really just bad situations, just doing the absolute best out of bad options. And I thought that was really impressive, but again, that they focused on safety of kids and families above everything else.
So early in our reopening planning this summer, we were meeting in, I would call them tactical teams, so student support services, academics, technology, operations, trying to figure out what was going to happen in this uncharted territory. And there was a common theme across all of those groups. And the real heart of it was, how are we going to know how the students are? How are we going to stay connected to them when we can't be with them in the way that we normally are? And so this really intentional check-in that was a felt need both for all the educators in the system and staff members. We all get in this to have strong relationships with kids to help them grow, as well as really worry and concern about our students and families. So that's how Navigator was created.
Our Navigators program is kind of one of a kind. It's a way that we wanted to ensure that we were connecting with every MNPS student. We thought about, as a parent, as a student, what is most needed during this time of learning in the virtual space. And so to stay connected with our students, to make sure every student was known, to make sure parents had an avenue by which they could communicate and receive updates from the school district, and just simply helping them navigate something that they never experienced before, we launched our Navigator program. That's a huge undertaking for a district our size, ensuring that every student had one-to-one contact on a frequent basis. Our Navigator program has proven to be very successful. It is a piece of innovation that we've implemented that we plan to continue on for years to come, because our students deserve to have the mentorship, the connections, and the mentoring to help them navigate their K-12 experience. Another lasting memory is that, again, for a large district like Metro Nashville Public Schools, and offering an all-virtual learning experience to students starting the 2021 school year is significant. Our system historically has not been built to offer a virtual learning experience. But for myself as a director of schools, Team MNPS did exactly what I knew and envisioned for Team MNPS.
The academic load in switching an entire district to virtual learning, that's something that the public doesn't necessarily get to see the ins and outs of, right? Putting an entire curriculum online is not something that you can do overnight. And so the talented teaching and learning team, even adopting Florida Virtual School, which people think is a curriculum that you can just flip a switch and implement, it just wasn't so. You had to align it to Tennessee standards. You had to align it to the resources we already had in the district. That's the kind of thing that usually takes 6 months to a year of intensive planning to do every single year. So we're writing a curriculum every year on a loop, right? We release a scope and sequence based on the standards. We get feedback, we implement it, we teach it, we see how the kids do, we make revisions, and that's an ongoing loop. And you inserted a brand new curriculum about 6 weeks before school started into that loop, and you took something that's ongoing and is typically a years-long process, and the curriculum team, the teaching and learning team, within 6 weeks did literally 6 months worth of work. That was all so that our teachers could then go to work, right? So your teachers are normally working in a curriculum. They have time over the summer to familiarize themselves with it, to make their plans, to learn how their kids did last year and adjust. And so it's an ongoing loop for teachers as well. And so they didn't get that curriculum until the week before school started. So the things they normally get a 2-month lead time to prepare for, they didn't get. And so that's by far the biggest lift at the district level, was getting that ready for our teachers. The biggest lift in the district was our teachers. All year long, teaching in a way they weren't necessarily trained to do, with materials that they had not had the typical training they would have done, dealing with students who were going through any levels of issues at home or just adjusting to the pandemic themselves. So the heaviest lift by far were the things that the everyday heroes, our teachers, were having to do and learn on the fly. It was a first year all over again for a staff that, many of which weren't in their first year anymore.
Another innovation that we're very proud of are virtual help centers. Our virtual help centers are completely new to us, that we launched during the pandemic. Getting a device into the hands of every student was a huge undertaking, something that we envisioned and desired for many, many years, but just had not been able to execute upon. So we're very thankful to the partnership, with the mayor and Metro Council, for investing in MNPS schools to ensure at the very beginning of our pandemic response that we could get devices into the hands of our students and our staff so they can continue to connect and to deliver quality instruction. But with that comes a great demand to support technology. Logging on to the computers for the first time, learning how to navigate and get to the appropriate platforms so that they could engage with their students could engage with their classmates and their teachers. And so instead of just having a phone line, a helpline for families and students to call into, we decided decided to launch virtual help centers so that in person, students and families could be served. And those virtual help centers turned into not only technology support, but support around food, support around translation services and enrollment. And again, that's a practice that has been very beneficial to us as a district that we plan to continue on in the future, meeting the needs of our families and our students in the communities in which they live.
I think what the pandemic did was it amplified for the entire district what inequities look like for everyone. I think some of the amplification of inequities existed around technology. It amplified our need or the disparities around communication. How are we communicating with families in a timely manner? It also amplified the need to understand many of our communities, not only with COVID, but with the tornado and other storms, many of our economically disadvantaged families were having issues, and those issues our students were bringing into school. So some of the ways that I am thankful that Dr. Battle led this team to address those inequities, first and foremost, we wanted to make certain that every student had access to technology. We wanted to make sure that every student, whether they were in person or at home, had a device that was able to utilize. They had a hotspot to be able to access the internet to be able to continue their schooling moving forward. That was vitally important and had never been done before in MNPS. Another way that we sought to address the inequities from COVID was to make certain that all of our families had access to understanding how to help their students be supportive during their virtual learning. So with the instruction of Dr. Battle as well, with the support of our Student Services Department, we initially set up multiple technology centers across the district so that families could come in and get access to understanding how to turn on their devices, how to connect if the device was broke, and to bring those. That was something that the community and that our families asked for and that we delivered upon because it was so vitally important.
Yes, so this school year for the MNPS Student Services Department, it has been an opportunity for us to absolutely think big, dream big, innovate in spaces that ordinarily, we would think it would take maybe 2 years to get in that space or 3 years to implement this. It was an opportunity where we had to quickly assess the needs and then get moving immediately and providing an immediate need for students.
What struck me most about the past year has been the flexibility and the innovation I've seen. I mean, I've had kids in Metro Public Schools, going back almost 20 years. I mean, my oldest is a senior at UT Chattanooga this fall. And, I never would have thought that we'd have a day where every Metro Public School student actually had a laptop computer to use at home. I mean, things like that, to the ability to get that done was impressive to me.
I would say we responded honestly. We made sure to let the community know where we needed help. We made sure to elevate our bright spots. We made sure to manage every dollar, every person, every responsibility we had as honestly and as appropriately as we could have. But I'm going to remember this year as the year where we could have folded, we could have buckled, and we didn't. I remember my mom a few years ago saying that people wouldn't really understand our budget woes because every day we showed up to make it work. So in the middle of a historic pandemic, after a deadly tornado, and yes, even during a recession, we still showed up. And so I'm gonna always remember that and hold it close to my heart, because we could have, should have, would have done so many different things, but we kept people alive, we kept people as our priority. So I'm pleased.
I always reflect back as a previous MNPS student, classroom teacher, and principal. And I reflect on when I was in those roles, what did I need to really accelerate outcomes for students? How could I be the best professional educator to support my students and my school community on a daily basis? And our support hub, or previously central office, is critical to that work. It's critical to that work because our support hub should be the support to our schools, our families, and our students. And in order for us to do that, we have to bridge the gap between us and them, or being a separate entity in how we address the needs of our students.
So we came up with this idea in January, and the reason for it initially was because we had schools that had quarantine issues, because we had staff members who needed support sort of immediately. Sending someone out from the support hub to schools 1 day a week allowed schools to serve children, address issues and concerns, and respond to things that were going on in the schools on a day-to-day basis. The first initial reason is because we wanted to show support for schools that were working through this unprecedented time. But really the unintended consequence or the benefit was for it is that it created a way for us to gain a better sense of schools' needs, to show very clearly that we support schools, and we're going to do that physically as well as through our work. But I think the greatest thing was it also provided folks at the support hub knowledge of what it's like to be in a school in the day-to-day. I think that's going to help frame their work moving forward in years to come.
Our support hub is here to create opportunities, to align resources for our schools, and to be an advocate for what they need. It is my belief that our learning communities, our staff members and our principals, our parents and our students know their community best. And our support hub is here to really elevate and empower our stakeholders with what they need to ensure that success for every student as an individual, but also as a school community. So that's our responsibility, and that's why we've been so focused on this transition in our mindset, but also in our actions and behaviors and how we support our school communities.
When I first met Dr. Battle, I met her as the principal at Antioch High School. That was an undertaking in and of itself. We had a lot of opportunities and challenges at Antioch High School, and Dr. Battle came in and she turned it around. She made it a place where students wanted to be, parents wanted to be, community wanted to be. I will say that during this pandemic, what I've seen with Dr. Battle is she recognized very quickly what needed to be done in this community for our children. She recognized that the programming that was in place, we needed some support. The resources that were in place, we needed some support. So with the American Families Plan Act, Dr. Battle has been able to implement that additional learning, the additional learning programs. For instance, I will say the addition of summer learning to combat the loss of learning that may have happened during the pandemic.
Now, I think it's more of an extension of every student known and every student ready for August. We really have Dr. Battle's been very intentional around, it's about every student and connecting them to what they need and putting them on a pathway to success. I think our summer program, we were talking about summer long before the state was, because we knew this was going to be a really important piece of making sure every student was ready for August 21. That was the way we talked about it. So it will help us build strong relationships, bring kids back into the building in an intentional way, but hopefully a fun way, and make sure that we are reintroducing normal and getting back to the business that we're used to in school in ways that are really supportive for kids and families.
Our focus outcomes in Metro Nashville Public Schools are really geared towards the core academic and social emotional learning outcomes we have for our students. You know, this has been a unique year. I've said that 100 times, unique school year, but we had to keep our focus on what we expect for our students. So continued high expectations with high level of supports. So as we've moved throughout the 2020-21 school year and moving into the 21-22 school year, we've been very explicit around what those focus outcomes should be. We have established outcomes, focus outcomes for every student at every grade level around their literacy achievement to ensure they're meeting and exceeding their growth goals on a yearly basis. We've established focused outcomes around numeracy, that our students are meeting and exceeding their growth goals in numeracy every school year to ensure they are on track to success once they graduate and that they are meeting their graduation requirements. We've also established focused outcomes around social emotional learning. We know that attendance matters. We want our students to be present and we want them to be engaged. We also have identified social emotional learning competencies that we know are critical for our students to develop at every stage of their career. And lastly, we have established a focused outcome around transitions. Transitions have always been important, but over the last year that has been interrupted by the pandemic, we wanted to make sure we had a critical eye on how our students were transitioning from one grade or one tier from year to year. We want to make sure that they have planned and the current school and the receiving school, if students are transitioning schools, know exactly where our students are and how we want to move them forward.
Our literacy rates have got to improve. And Literacy Reimagined focuses on equity, it focuses on access, and it focuses on integration. And those three words, I think, really are the heart of what Literacy Reimagined means. It's equitable for all students. It's access to grade level standards and making sure that all students have access to be working in grade level. It's the resources they need in an integrated fashion. So it's making sure that our teachers can focus on the pedagogy, what they're trained to do, focus on teaching, rather than focusing on sourcing their own materials. Our teachers have been telling us for a long time the supports they need. They've been very clear, and I'm really excited that we're able to give that to them. In a way, getting ahead this year, and the trainings with Literacy Reimagined that have already started and will go on all throughout the summer. Our teachers have their first unit electronically already. The hard copy resources should be delivered within a week before they're out for the summer. And they'll have all summer long to work in those materials as we take that first step for the next generation of Metro Nashville Public School students.
MNPS is filled with leaders all across the district who are effective and are of the top-notch caliber that we would expect for our students. And we must compensate them at that same level. And we know that we are serving in a city that's growing, that is really booming, if you will, as some have referred to Nashville as the IT city. And we want our employees, our teachers, to be able to live in the community in which they're serving our students.
Now, a city on the rise gives everyone the opportunity to rise with it. And that opportunity starts with an excellent education. And today, and it's hard for me not to smile and just celebrate this moment, I am proud to announce we're making Metro's largest ever investment in public education, both in operating and capital dollars. Just my proposed budget includes an additional $81 million for Metro schools. For the first time in a generation, we are fully funding the school board's budget request. And smile along with me. We are investing $50 million to make our teachers the best paid in Tennessee.
We're very fortunate to have a mayor and a city council who are being very responsive and supportive of public education and understanding that the number one priority here, the number one impact in student success are our teachers. And so that advocacy around what's now an historic investment and being able to reset our teacher pay scale has been critical to those conversations and keeping the focus where it needs to be, because our great teachers are who pour in to our students on a daily basis.
In MNPS, it is common knowledge that our focus day in and day out must be on the fact that we want every student known. And every student known means that every student's needs are identified, every student's needs are planned for and cared for, and that every student's needs are monitored and tracked, and that we make the necessary adjustments to be able to meet the needs of those students.
So every student knows means that I know, that the teachers know, that their school principal knows all of her students, their families, what they're going through, their hopes and their dreams, and that by that application of understanding them, we now can better serve them in the day-to-day actions within our classroom.
Every student known means to me that every student's known, cared for, respected, and supported. That we know their strengths, We know where they need support. We connect them to those supports. It really, for me, is about connecting every student to a pathway of success and helping them find that pathway. It's not just about a one-size-fits-all. It's really about inspiring a student, helping them find what they're good at, how to get better at it, and helping them dream those big dreams that we have for them.
I am looking forward to getting back to a sense of calm and normalcy for everyone, for our students, for our staff, for our community. We know our schools are the hub of the community. We know this. We've seen it not only in a normal, what we would call a normal school year, but throughout the pandemic. And so I'm looking forward to getting back to that space. I am looking forward to continuing to celebrate our teachers being best in state when it comes to compensation, because they deserve it, and it places the value in the work that they do on behalf of not only MNPS, but Nashville. I'm looking forward to taking all the lessons learned of the previous 12 to 14 months and leveraging those successes to scale across our district. I'm looking forward to continued collaboration and partnerships through all of our various cabinets that have been created through the pandemic. Our students' voice, our teachers' voice, our staff voice, our support hub voice, our parent voice, working closely with our Board of Education, all of our board members, our continued advocacy with our Mayor John Cooper, and our Metro Council members. I'm looking forward to the continued partnership, one that we've experienced during the most challenging year in public education going into next school year. I'm optimistic. I believe this is a time and a space for us to close those opportunity gaps, accelerate outcomes for students, and ensure every Metro Nashville Public School student is known.
Thank you all for your presence here. We have a report from our Dr. Battle. We'll move into a 5-minute recess.